All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our 500 Club call. We've got an amazing guest speaker, global expansion team, 2,500 member, Stephen Nguyen, joining us from Sydney today. I'm so excited about this call in particular because I've heard a lot about Stephen. I know that his business is cranking. It just takes a couple of scrolls on his Facebook. Oh, I wasn't stalking you, Stephen, but a couple of scrolls on his Facebook to see that his business is literally out of control. So it's very exciting to have him on our call today. I just want to congratulate everybody on the call that did over 500 volume points this month. So we've got a lot of people listening into the recording. So welcome to you guys. We can't wait to see the feedback later on. But, guys, I am going to, just hand it straight over to Stephen so he can, use up this, amazing quality time that we have with him. So Stephen, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll hand it to you.
Thank you, Caroline. Very nice introduction, and thank you for the invitation for me to speak to you guys. And what I am more excited about is the fact that you guys have qualified as part of the 500 Club, which really tells me that you guys are going out there and you're making an impact yourself and actually changing people's lives along the way. So that's very cool. So I might just take control of the screen right now and see if I can open up my screen and share with you. Bear with me one sec, guys. All right, it'd be nice if you guys can just, I just want to make sure that you can see my screen. There's probably a then and now, if you can see that there. I'm assuming that is a yes. Yeah. Okay, awesome, fantastic. So once again, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Stephen Nguyen, and I'm from Sydney, Australia. And so I might start off with giving you guys a little bit of background about my journey so far. So, my journey with Herbalife really began when I got introduced to these amazing products about 4.5 years ago. And, I guess prior to Herbalife, before Herbalife, when I started Herbalife, to be honest with you guys, I wasn't that person that had a lot of weight to lose or to gain. And, but, I at that time, I was like working out, always into health and fitness. I was working out for like over 8 years, always fascinated about, what is it going to take for me to transform my body and transform my health. And it was after working out for like 8 years and just focusing on fitness, that I realized that, after doing it for 8 years, I was still at 20% body fat. I tried all sorts of things, as like many other people, all sorts of diets, done a lot of cardio, and tried many things. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, was when I realized that, that whole saying, for things to change, you have to change, So I decided to take a different approach. I got started on my Herbalife nutrition program, and I realized that just working out alone for 8 years wasn't going to change my position at 20% body fat. So I got started on my Herbalife program, and within the first 12 weeks, I was able to, drop 5% body fat. I dropped 5 kilos, and I had that amazing energy shift, and I just started to feel alive again. And the most profound thing that I experienced during that time was I found a way just to start to manage how I felt in terms of my joint pain and everything like that. Now, a huge disclaimer. I'm not saying Herbalife nor anything that I did was a cure for or that allowed me to manage my arthritis, but it just made sense. And as we all know that, when you start feeding your body with good nutrition, it starts to move towards wellness, as we hear all the time. So, as a result of doing that, I was able to go on and, throughout my journey, I've been able to go from 20% body fat down as low as 6.5% body fat. Now, I'm not saying the goal is for you to get to 6.5% body fat, because I highly wouldn't recommend it anyway. But my whole life transformed as a result of doing that. And I think one of my biggest achievements so far has been the impact that it's had on my family. You guys might see on the screen right here. I would have to say that, my biggest fan or raving fan, client, or ambassador, you want to call it, is definitely my father. So my father's gone on, after me having a major breakthrough in my life, I went on and I started inspiring my family. and really just going out there and teaching them about the breaks that I had with my, in my life, and sharing them about my own Herbalife journey. So you might see here, and I hope it inspires some of you, because some of my friends looked at my journey and they said, hey, Stephen, it's cool that you can do it. You've been working out for a long time. That's why you're able to do it. But my dad here is a great example. He's a great role model for most people. Someone that doesn't go to the gym, didn't really work out prior to that. He got started on his own journey about 2 years ago. He's 59 years of age. He's got a metabolic age of under 25 years of age. And he's really just an example of the power of feeding your body the best nutrition. And on top of that, he got in the best shape of his life without even going to the gym. So he's just a really good role model and example to other people. So I really believe that what really helped me achieve some of the things that I've achieved today has really been because it started with my own personal results. And I really think that for some of you on the call, whether you guys are looking to take your own results to the next level, whether you're looking to take your business to the next level, but I really believe in this saying here. That's the reason why I put this quote up here. Success is something you attract by the person you become. So it's really important that I think for everyone, if you really want to go out there and you want to help people transform their lives, take their body to the next level, and accelerate their health results, and whatever that definition is, and it's not necessary to lose weight or to gain weight, it could be just to experience an energy shift, just to be healthier, to feel more alive with you, and you need to become, or we call it these days, you need to become the best ambassador for Herbalife before you can go out there and teach and inspire the people. So that's really where my journey really started. And so to give you a bit of background about my career, so forth, what I do full time is I actually just run Herbalife. I do Herbalife really part time. My full time job is I don't have any background in fitness or nutrition or anything like that. I do have a strong desire to go out there and help people change their lives. And my full-time job is running a family business, a seafood family business, where we do wholesaling. So I don't really have any background in fitness or nutrition. And I share that to not to impress you guys, but to impress upon you guys that anyone can do it. Because if I can, anyone can, without any background or anything like that. So I think what's really important for you guys to understand, I think the very first thing you got to understand is, once you realize that the most important part of your journey first is for you to work on yourself and have an amazing product result, I really think that's the start of your journey. So if you guys can bear me 1 sec, I'm just going to change slides here for 1 sec. And I just want to open up something as I explain the next part of what I think is really important. Sorry, bear me 1 sec, guys. To be quite honest with you guys, I was actually going to be sharing based on my notes, and I didn't know that I was doing a screen share. But anyhow, I do have some slides that I prepared earlier, so bear with me. Sorry about that. So anyways, as the slides are opening up, I really want to give you guys sort of like a blueprint of my whole journey so far and give you some sort of structure that I've followed in order to sort of achieve the success that I've been able to achieve in my Herbalife career so far, or journey so far. So, Herbalife's been an incredible blessing for me, even though I still do this business part-time. And to be honest with you guys, I'm at a stage where the income that I earn in Herbalife part-time has come to a point where it really matches the income that I get in running a full-time business, And so a disclaimer out there, just to make sure that everyone understands, my results aren't typical and individual results vary and so forth. So, but I'm really going to try and give you guys as much value in this call as possible through giving you guys a framework of really what did it take for me to go from where I started until where I am today. So I'm going to go through a bit of a flow of, starting from exactly from a brand new person, really where you guys can start your journey and how it can be, and how my own journey you guys can apply it in your own business and so forth. So as I mentioned before, I've got a bit of a flow within our group to help them, to really help them navigate their way towards achieving some of the results that I've been able to achieve. So here's a bit of a flow, a strategic flow of what I think it's going to take for you to go from where you are right now, and if you're starting from scratch, to becoming a successful coach, right? So as I mentioned before, your personal results are everything. You have to become attractive, and if you want to start attracting the right kind of people, you need to become that role model and that example yourself. And so I think once you start to do this, and I think that is the foundation, this is going to be the backbone of your success. You know, your growth in Herbalife, I believe, especially if you're trying to attract the healthy, active lifestyle community, and this is a target market, these are the kind of people you want to work with, you're going to become the best example. So you definitely want to work on yourself. That's the first thing. The second thing is, as you become an attractive coach, you're going to start to attract clients. Now, and this is the journey of making sure that you go out there, and your number one focus for me has really been, I've really believed in this. You know, my understanding about the Herbalife business is this. You have to understand what business you're in and really understand the type of business that you want to build. So for me, I really think the lives really get changed for me, and you really only get rewarded not for the number of people you sign up, not for the number of members you have in your team. The only time you get rewarded and your income and your rewards in Herbalife is really reflected by the results you get for other people. We're in a results-driven business. And at the end of the day, really what you're getting paid for, and you have to get crystal clear about this, you only get paid when someone gets amazing results or their lives get changed. And to me, the lives only get changed when people start consuming the product. So a really big part of my philosophy is it's very consumption focused. We want to go out there and find consumers and make sure that they take the product, because that's really how you're getting judged and measured and rewarded. So focusing on going out there and building a very strong client base is a really big part of my philosophy, and has been a really big part of my journey so far. So once you go ahead and you find a client, your goal is to do whatever you can to make sure that they become a product lover. And the only way that they're going to become a product lover is you want to make sure that you do everything within your power to make sure they get amazing results. And we classify this as someone becoming an ambassador of ours. So just imagine, right? Just imagine if your goal is to go out there, get amazing results yourself, and then to go out there and find people that want to get amazing results, become the messenger. That's all you're doing. You're not going out there to sell, to pitch Herbalife. You're going out there to share a message about your own experience. And that's the one way you're going to inspire the people. And as a result of that, once you have a client that comes on board, your number one responsibility is to make sure they get amazing results and they become an ambassador of yours. For them to go out there, not just become an ambassador of Herbalife, but to become an ambassador of their coach at the same time. For them to go out there and rave about you. Just like if Caroline came on board and Caroline introduced me to Herbalife and she got me amazing results. And I want to go out there, and when I'm at a barbecue, I want to have such amazing results that I want to go and rave about her, just as if I'm an ambassador of Herbalife, as well as being an ambassador of my coach, right? Because my coach has been able to help me change my life. So once you have someone that becomes an ambassador, the next step that you want to follow is you want to help them to become an active member. Now, so for me, an active member is classified as someone that wants to become more active in introducing other people to Herbalife and play a more active role. You know, so this is where, and the rewards for them is, one of the rewards of them becoming an active member is they get exposed to all the really cool benefits. And one of the major benefits is, you know, as they go out there and help us inspire and motivate other people, they're going to get rewarded by getting a bigger discount, potentially having their products paid for, potentially earning a part-time income, and so forth. And so that is really the next level for them, right? And so as you go through this funnel, after that, this is where we start to give people an opportunity to transition from becoming an active member, playing a more active role and helping us coach the people they inspire, to becoming what we call a fit coach or a coach, whatever you want to call it, but to become a coach in Herbalife. You know, here's when they get exposed to the opportunity to be able to earn a part-time income, or even for some of us who's looking to really take our passion and potentially earn a full-time income or a career level income, and do this as part of our legacy, right? And so Once we have that, we try and plug people into the system and we develop them as a leader. And so this is where we start to expose them to all the major events. So they get a chance to start moving up the marketing plan, and we start to expose them to much more. So this is really the flow that I try and run our organization through, to say, how do we take someone from being just started brand new today to taking them all the way to becoming a coach. And that's the process that we walk them through. And so some people even ask me, Stephen, what about if I have someone that comes and joins me and they're already an influencer, they're a personal trainer, or they're someone else? And my answer to them is they go through the exact same process. Is I believe that in order to become the best teacher, you have to be the best student. There's only so much. And even if I had to work with someone that's looking to just join the business, there's only so much, even whether they're a personal trainer, there's only so much they know in theory. And I know that, they can know so much in theory. What happens in reality is generally a different thing. It's sort of like someone coming in now and I'm trying to teach them how to swim through a textbook. As you guys are on this call, you are listening to this, I'm sure you agree that there's only so much you can learn on how to swim through a textbook until you actually jump in the pool and you learn yourself. And one of the reasons why we encourage every single person to actually go through this whole process is because of duplication. As we know, the most important part of our business is, if we really want to go out there, and our mission is to really serve other people, we can only do so much alone. If we want to go out there and truly make a massive impact, we're going to have to go out there and try and find a way to build leaders, not followers. So people that actually immerse themselves to what we're doing, and so much more. So, So just a couple of things that I want to touch on that I think is really important is, I really want you guys to start getting your head around, and I'm sure that you guys have heard this going around at the moment, is the whole members activation program. So for example, once you have a client, the best method, I think, the best way for you to expose customers, because one of the things that I found being super effective is, you want to spend your time in focusing on developing customers. Because I want you to think about this, right? I want you to think about, especially the people that have been in the business for quite some time, I want you to think about, where is most of your volume point coming from? I want you to look at your volume point for last month, and then I want you to assess, is most of my volume point coming from consumers, or is it coming from people that I brought into the business through introducing them to the business and so forth? So I think a really big part of your focus, if you really want to become very productive, is you want to look at it like the 80-20 rule. And so for some of you on this call, if you haven't heard about the 80-20 rule, which is the Pareto principle, which means if you want to be productive, 80% of your results is going to come from 20% of your efforts. So I really want you to think about that, right? Because the number one resource that you have that you want to make sure you manage really well is your time. So you want to ask yourself, where should I be spending most of my time right now if I want to become super productive, knowing that time is the only resource that's deteriorating every single minute. Even as you're on this call and you're taking the time to listen to this call, or you're on this call, you're never going to get the time back. So you want to make sure you use the time super productively. And so one of the things that we encourage our clients to focus, if you understand that most of your business is coming from consumers or members, if you want to call it, then you want to make sure you put attention and focus, and you have a system in place for it. So Herbalife put a system in place for us to help us become successful. So we didn't have to go out there and redevelop our system ourselves through something called a members activation program. And you want to make sure that this is a program that you run your customers through to help them get to the next level. Now, when I mean get to the next level, I'm not just talking about them being able to get a bigger discount, not just talking about them being able to get to the next level on the marketing plan. I'm talking about them being able to also accelerate their results at the same time. Because you have to understand one thing that's very important. When you're speaking to a customer, you have to use their language, not your language, right? And for the customer, what do you think is the number one thing they're interested in? Getting a bigger discount, or getting a bigger result, or getting a better result, sorry. So you want to make sure that you're using their language, So I'm not going to bore you guys with how to qualify for the members activation program, because I think you guys can spend this time offline without me going through and explaining in detail. You can go ahead and either listen to the recording that we've just launched the webinar, or go to your coach or mentor and ask them to explain to you how do you go through all the steps for the members activation program. but I'm sort of going to explain it in a nutshell so you guys have some framework at least. So the members activation program is very simple. What you want to say to your clients is, I'm so excited right now that you've had amazing product results. Remember, you have to take them through the funnel. And now that you're a Herbalife member and you're signed up, I want to make sure that you're able to get your results to the next level. And what we found is that as you go out there and you inspire other people, it's going to give you a chance to not only qualify to get a bigger discount, but I think more than that, it's going to help you get more amazing results. And so in order for you to qualify, I think it's important to tell your clients or your members, this is how you qualify, which is all you need to do actually is just to go out there and help us inspire your friends and family to join you on their journey. And in order to qualify for these bigger discounts plus more, you have to go out there and inspire 5 to 7 of your friends per month to join you on the journey. And we know that if someone follows this and they do this 3 months in a row, it's going to allow them to potentially take their discount from 25% off up to as high as 50% off within an average of about a 6 months duration. But I know that's not the most important thing to you as a customer, right, Mary? The most important thing I know to you is to continue to get amazing results. And what we found is this. We found that it's super important that you can go out there and inspire your friends and family so that it's going to give you an opportunity to earn a bigger discount. But more important, above and beyond that, it's going to allow you to get better results, because we found our most successful clients that have gone out there and found a community around them that believe in what they believe in has allowed them to get not just more amazing results, but it's allowed them to get more sustainable results at the same time. So a really good example that I like to use for our clients is just like how our clients come down to one of our fit clubs or they come down to a shake party. Now I know that when they come to fit club and they do a workout together as a group of 20 other motivated individuals, they can power through the workout. But I always say to them, just imagine if you didn't have this community around you and you had to go out there on your own to the park, and every single Monday night, you had to go through this same workout on your own. What do you think your level of success will become? Or even more than that, what do you think your chances of sustaining that over a long period of time? And I know for most people, the amount they're able to do as a team, as a community with other people, having an accountability partner, like having a workout partner has a drastic effect on their result and accountability and everything like that. So the way that we like to explain to our clients is it's just like that. Our members activation program has been designed so that it serves you in multiple facets, including your results, which is the most important part. So that's really the focus of where we're focusing with all of our clients right now, to help them move through the process and take advantage of all the rewards that we've got right now. And again, if you want to find out more about the members activation program, I'm sure your coach, your mentor can direct you in the right direction about all the different resources for you to find out about that. So what I thought I might do, if I can, Caroline, if we wanted to open up and maybe I can do some Q&A, maybe you guys might get some more value out of that, and feel free to ask me any questions. But that's really the whole process in a nutshell that I run every single person through. It doesn't matter if they're starting from scratch or they're looking to now continue and take their business to the next level. So.
Yeah, that is so awesome, Stephen. Thank you. I know that you guys just did a recording, so I'll put the link up on our team page for that. Awesome call. I love how you showed that system pipeline really, really simply. I think that just makes a lot of sense to people. Guys, does anybody have any questions? Just unmute or put your hand up and I can unmute your end if you do. While I'm just waiting to see if anybody would like to ask anything, Stephen, you've got obviously a very busy schedule with a full-time family business that you're part of. I didn't actually realize that. I thought you were a full-time Herbie because you just got so much going on, which is so awesome. So how do you manage your, I suppose for a lot of our guys listening to the call, we've got full-time, we've got part-time, we've got anytime, we've got, some families as well. So how do you manage your time effectively?
Great question, Caroline. So I'm just trying to think of how I can answer this question as sophisticated as possible, because I know if I give you guys, for some of you on the call who are new, a simple answer, you take it casually. But I would say this. I would say that I would say the one thing, is I don't buy into my own story that there's not enough time. To be honest with you, I don't buy into anyone's story that says, Stephen, I don't have enough time. And because that's my blueprint, that I believe that when someone says to me, Stephen, I don't have time to work out, I don't have time to eat healthy, really what that means to me, if I read between the lines, is you don't have your priorities right, or it's not a priority to you, to be honest. So, and the reason I say that is because for every single person, time is something that's universal, whether it's myself, whether it's Caroline, whether it's Bill Gates, whether it's the owner of Apple Computer. We all have 24 hours in a day, and it's a cop-out, I think, if you say to yourself, oh, right now, I'm not achieving the level of success that I want to achieve in Herbalife, I'm not being able to go out there and impact as many people, is because I don't have time. I think it's really just a priority thing, and so the first thing I would say is this, is I don't buy into that story, hence I don't buy into that excuse for anyone, including my own organization. And what I think, the way that I manage that is I think about, how can I use my time more productively? That's a more powerful question. So as a result, the way that I schedule my time in my day, because I'm forced to think about that rather than saying to myself, I don't have time, I try and make sure that I focus on the most important tasks first. So for example, I think your number one role in Herbalife is to make sure that you go out there and you inspire other people through an invitation, and you expose them to what we do in Herbalife. And you really should be leaving the rest of the process up to Herbalife. For example, once you find someone that's interested, you should really be plugging them into the different systems that we have. And that's probably the best way that I maximize my time, Caroline. To answer your question in short, is I focus 80% of my time in going out there, and you guys know this already, this is the obvious, spending 80% of my time in doing invitations, and the other 20% of my time is spending in helping people. But I don't get those things mixed up, and I don't spend a lot of my time doing all the busy stuff that seems important. And as a result, I can try and maximize my time. I can still run the business. I can still be there for my partner. I can still be there for my family. And I can also run my Herbalife business part-time at the same time. So, I think it's prioritization, and you have to just commit to it. I think that's the thing. You draw a line in the sand. You don't accept your own story that you tell yourself. And believe me, I have my own stories at the same time. I ask myself, why am I not a president team member? So, and I think it's really just about the standards that you have for yourself, right? Because time is universal. So I hope that sort of answers your question.
Oh my gosh, in so many ways, like you've said so many things just in that. My other question, I know I'm stealing the spotlight here, guys. So put your hands up if you want to ask some questions. My other question is, for someone who's so busy and working your time like that, what are your non-negotiables in terms of the system, in terms of your event structure as a GET2500 member?
Great question, Caroline. I would say that definitely if I had to pinpoint what I did in the past, some of the mistakes I did was Herbalife events, attending any sort of Herbalife events, as in training events, definitely the major events such as Kickoff, STS, Extravaganzas, Spectaculars. Those Herbalife events are definitely a non-negotiable for me. And I've noticed, and as a tag team member, we're taught this, there's a direct correlation in terms of your success and your growth in Herbalife. There's a direct correlation to the number of people you have at events. And I would say this, and I say this to all of my team, if you're looking for duplication and you're looking to develop leaders, not followers, then you need to start plugging people into the system. So if you're bringing the system to other people, you're attending an STS or a Kickoff alone, I guarantee you probably have a challenge with duplication, and you have a challenge in developing leaders. And I would say that if you're not exposing your people to the systems and plugging them into the events, you're becoming the system. And so the non-negotiables for me would definitely be, all the major events that's held by Herbalife, all the events that's held by Herbalife. And your goal is not just to attend the events. And if your goal is to go there and you want to build leaders, you want to go there with other parts, other members of yours. So they're going in there and they're grooming themselves to become a leader at the same time. And if you have a duplication problem, I say to all of my teammates, if you have a duplication problem, I can guarantee you, I can tie it back to the last event and how many people you had there. And I guarantee the people that have the most number of people there and the most number of their own people at the events, they don't have a duplication problem as big as yours. So I would say, all the Herbalife events are non-negotiable for me. But some of the things that I think are also a must, apart from just events, constantly working on yourself, working on your own transformation, because that keeps you inspired and people feel about how you feel about the product and how you feel about what you say at the same time. And definitely working on your mindset. That's a non-negotiable for me. Waking up, making sure that I do some form of personal development, because as Jim Rohn said, weeds grow automatically. You can wake up and walk out the door and negative things will be coming your way. You don't have to look for it. It will show up, So you got to make sure we protect our mind and we stand guard of that, so we have a powerful day. So that will be the top things that I think are non-negotiable. So definitely events.
That's incredibly powerful. Thanks, Stephen. And because everybody's being super shy today, it's not really like our team, but I can see our group chats going off. Just to finish off with one more question, what would be your favorite, maybe top 3 forms of personal development or favorite go-to PD styles or books or webinars or things like that?
Okay.
Has there been any life-changing ones for you, apart from your amazing sponsor? What is there a go-to for you?
Yeah, I would say that my number one favorite is listening to Jim Rohn and Mark Hughes. Definitely, that's probably the number one resource I go to. So I know most of you know this, but I know there's a lot of people in our group that don't really take advantage of this. So you go to your My Herbalife, the video, there's heaps there. But going to YouTube and simply typing in, Jim Rohn or Mark Hughes. What I do love and I listen to repeatedly over and over again is Mark Hughes has a training. It's called like the Master Training Program. I think it's called like series 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple. Go to YouTube, type in Mark Hughes, Master Training. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And he goes through all the different aspects of the business. And the reason why I love listening to Mark Hughes and Jim Rohn, and there is a lot of personal development, all different resources out there. The reason why I love listening to both Mark Hughes and Jim Rohn is because it's relevant for us. He ties it back to Herbalife. So it's a really great reminder for me, and it makes me feel really present about Herbalife. So that's definitely my go-to resource by default. I'll go to YouTube and type in those 2 names by default. Some of the other people that have had a major impact on my life would be the likes of Tony Robbins. I love Tony Robbins. I love some of his resource. If I can pinpoint anything specific, I would say that Tony Robbins has an audio series called Personal Power. That's really cool. I've done his actual courses, but you can go to YouTube again and type in Tony Robbins and a ton of resources will come up, an abundance of that. And I would say maybe the last one. One of the books that's really, I guess, changed my thinking would be, at the moment would be The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People by Stephen Covey. I'm a really big believer that, that if you really want to become successful, there's 2 ways of doing it. One, trying to figure it out yourself. And the second one is to go and find successful people and model them. So Stephen Covey writes a book called The 7 Habits of Successful People, or Highly Effective People, sorry. And I've really read that book, and I've tried to take on that philosophy and made it a goal. How can I pick up those habits? If they're the habits of successful people, I want to go ahead and pick up those habits at the same time. So that would be sort of my top 3 resources on my go-to. I hope that answers your question, Caroline.
Yes, I think everybody's getting a hand cramp writing all of this down, Stephen. And I can see Lorraine just put in a question. Sure. If you could say one word of wisdom to a new person, or I suppose something to a new person, what would it be?
if there was one message that I can leave you guys with, would be, to sum up my whole journey, my whole life journey right now, including Herbalife and all of my struggles that I've been through, everything like that. I would say this one thing is success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. So success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And so I don't know what your definition of success may be, but I think the really amazing thing is this about Herbalife. And this is what I love about my Herbalife, right? And this is my personal preference, is to be exposed to a company where we get to help people with, I believe, two of the most important areas of their life. Herbalife is really the equilibrium between health and wealth. I think if you ask anyone, you ask them what their New Year's resolution, I would challenge you that most of the time people write those two things as the top things. And we have an opportunity of a lifetime. We have the chance within our power to go out there and provide people with these two things. So I get a chance to go out there because I know there's a lot of people that are successful, and they may be successful, but they miss that fulfillment side of things. So for me, Herbalife's been a blessing for me because I get to go out there and help people change their lives, which contributes to my own success, my own family's success, my financial success. But at the same time, it hits that particular sweet spot for me also at the same time, because I truly get to go out there and pay it forward, serve other people. And that's the fulfillment side of things, And I think if you're missing those two things and you're chasing one or the other, it could lead to some form of failure. So I would challenge you to leave this call and maybe think about one thing. I would love for you to write down, what is your definition of success? Okay. And write that down. And I guarantee you, for most people, that's all they're chasing. And then maybe on the other side of the page, what is your definition of failure? I mean, not failure, sorry. What is your definition of fulfillment? And then I would challenge you to find a balance between those two things. Because if you don't and you swing towards one side only, it could lead to ultimate failure, like I said, So that would be my key message, my takeaway. If there's one thing that I could share, would be that. So I hope that makes sense to you guys.
100%. Thank you so much, Stephen, for your time today. That was an incredible, 40 minutes that we had with you. Incredibly powerful. I hope you accept our invitation when we invite you to come to speak in Cairns. And I know that you're in Brisbane in the next couple of weeks. So for the STS, is that right?
Correct. Yes, I'm going to be in Brisbane for the next STS. I believe it's on the 27th of this month. So if you guys know anyone or you are in Brisbane, please do come and say hi. And I'll be sharing more detail about my journey. Sorry if I had to run through things very quickly and sort of had to do things on the fly, but I hope that you guys got some value of that. And thank you, Lorraine and Caroline, for the invitation. You guys are in amazing hands with these two incredible leaders. So don't take that for granted. So.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Have an awesome day, guys. Let's see some post promotion on our team pages and the group chat. Coco, be quiet. And hopefully everybody listening into the recording has also got a bit of a hand cramp from all the amazing gold that we've got. So thanks again, Stephen. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming on. Bye.